Hotep, Shalom, greetings, peace. Um, Thank you for subscribing to my subscribers, my new subscribers. Thank you. Um, we are going to be discussing tonight the Great Mother. Okay. Um, so we're going to get right into it. Now, when we talk about the Great Mother, we're going to talk about some of the contributions that the Black woman has made to to life itself. Okay. When we talk about the Great Mother and why the mother is so great, is because she has been the nurturer. She's been a teacher. Um, she has played a pivotal role in the um, production and the future, the history, um, whether it be oral. Um, she has played a very pivotal role in um, ensuring that the next generation has, understands their history in many aspects. Now, and what I mean by that is when you look at much of history throughout cultures and in various geographical locations, um, wars, when there's a war, the men die off from the fighting, from the warring. They are killed, and oftentimes when the men are killed during war and battle, the mother and the woman is left to pick up the pieces and carry on. Whatever traditions, whatever teachings, um, whatever history, that memory of that male figure, that male role model in that family. The woman is always usually left to carry on. She's usually the backbone. Um, and that's why they say she's the backbone, because when all else fails, when you lose the male, you don't have anybody else really to depend on but the mom. And she's the one who carries, things on to the next level. And when we talk about, the mom um, and a newborn baby, of course, the mother, she is, physically equipped. Okay. After she gives birth, she's physically equipped. Her body naturally prepares itself for the arrival of the new baby. Okay. Her breasts automatically begin to feel once at the moment, at the moment of conception, her body begins to immediately change at the precise moment of conception. And it's like, when I say that, it's like electromagnetic energy. Okay. It's something, it's not only in it's, change is transforming inside of the body of the woman, but it's transforming in the universe as well. Okay. The universe, it's natural for a woman's body to automatically begin to prepare for the arrival of the new baby before the fetus is complete, before the baby is formed completely in the womb. So we're going to talk about that double vital presence, that ka, that essence, that duality that the woman bears. Also, the woman is a portal. She's a portal of life. She's a time traveling machine. Okay. When we talk about time traveling, she is actually the mothership. And that's why we call it the mothership. But she's the mothership. And through the mothership, life continues in a different aspect. Okay. It is a way that man has the ability to see a reflection of himself. Okay. Without having to look in a mirror. Okay. This baby, when the baby comes, it looks like part of it looks like the daddy, part of it looks like the mother. It's a reflection of of that presence, of that energy. Um, and whatever you pour into that baby, the mind is like a sponge, it absorbs everything. Um, so, we're going to talk about the beautiful aspects of life, the contributions that the great mother makes, um, how important she has been throughout history. I don't know any point in history where the woman's role wasn't significant. Okay. And when we talk about time traveling and we talk about, when a person dies, they say a person enters. So when a person leaves and they fall into the dirt, there's life still yet in the womb of the woman. Okay, life is still, like I said, she's a portal of life. She's a vessel. Okay. And a vessel is very, very vital in your travel. Okay. If you want to, when we look at a ship, if you want to get from one side of the ocean to another, you're going to have to get on that vessel and you're going to have to travel to be able to reach the other side of the ocean. So the vessel is a very, very important, very, very pivotal role in life in itself, the essence of all existence, of all human existence. Um, and when we talk about this time traveling and this mothership, the woman's body is the mothership. Okay, that beautiful black body is the mothership, and through this mothership, a lot of things happen. Life is conceived. Life forms. The body prepares to nurture the baby. It's just amazing the things that the woman's body is capable of doing. The fact that she is capable of holding a whole entire human being inside of her body, it just shows how amazing she is, and through her there are endless possibilities. Okay, she is this time machine. She is the portal. She is this major vessel. And as I stated, she plays a pivotal and a very vital role in life itself. Um, she is um, the essence of all things in existence. And when we talk about when the black man talks about himself as being God, because we hear that quite frequently. And my perspective of it is, if the black man considers himself to be God, then if the black woman and the black man are a part of each other, doesn't that make her a God as well? So, I mean, I'm not even going to, stay on that for too long, because, all it is simple mathematics and, basic comprehension skills. Okay. Um, but, one thing I can say is that, when we talk about warring, we talk about fighting, the black woman has played a pivotal role in that as well. When we look at various queens throughout history, some of these Nubian queens, they were pivotal in battle. Okay. Um, we have to be honest with ourselves about how um, things have transpired, and the essence of modern day science and understanding. We are in a different time frame. We're in a different comprehension space now, and there are certain things I think that we make complicated. We argue over some of the most minute, some of the most basic, simple things, when we have so many other so many other pivotal things to focus on, that are of more benefit, to the productiveness and the progression of the Black community. Um, but as I stated, we allow ourselves to be distracted by mediocre, minute conversation, minute debates. When we can attempt to try to find some form of common ground so that you can move to the next level. Because, until that, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck batting your eyes, looking crazy. But as I stated before, the female role has been very pivotal throughout history. Now, after the biblical essence of Adam and Eve, there was a more negative spin placed on the woman. When we look back throughout history, we look at the Egyptians, we look at the Coptic, we look at the Nubians, we look at the Cushites, and we look at Christianity. The woman is still held and respected and held in, the highest regards. When you look at Christianity, despite who's in control, despite who, is acting in power and who's the leader, the traditions are still there. They still are, the Pope takes an annual trip to go kiss the feet of the Great Mother. And, the Great Mother is a depiction of a woman of a dark black, tar black woman, a woman of color, definitely. And on her lap, it seated is the golden child. Okay, the golden child. And why he is the golden child is because he's the father, he's the son, he's the husband, he's the uncle, he's the brother. He is the great I am. Okay. So you can clearly see that, the church has held the woman's position in the highest regards and has the golden child seated upon her lap. And on her lap, with the golden child, he is a representation, as I stated, of the great I am. This is her, this is her beloved. This is her love. This is, her, this is her world. He's sitting on her lap and she has the world in the palm of her hands. Okay? All right. So we have to understand that, when we talk about the Black woman or the woman being held in the highest regards or in high regards, it doesn't take anything from the male. It doesn't emasculate him. It doesn't take anything from him because it's clear and it's obvious that this male is a representation of her love. So it doesn't take anything from him. It doesn't mean he's less of a man. It means that she's going to protect him by any means. It means that she's going to protect him at all costs. Okay. It means that, there's nothing to her greater than this life itself, his life. Okay. So, it's all about how you understand and comprehend things. It's all about, a person's perception. And everybody doesn't have the same perception in life. Some people have altered perceptions. And those are things that we have to take into consideration. Um, but as I stated before, the woman, she is a time machine. Okay. When we talk about Thoth and, Tahuti and Hermes thrice, when we talk about we're talking about time travel. Okay. I don't know what else, to say because some of the things that are completely far fetched. Okay. When we talk about the halls and of a mentee. Well, as I stated before, we have to be honest with ourselves before we can be honest with anyone else. And I know that this live is going to create problems for the alpha male. Okay? It's going to create a problem for the alpha male because many of them, feel as if A woman should know her place in life. But when we look at our culture and we look at, our ancient traditions, which have been, we've gotten so far away from, and that's part of the reason why, modern day society is in such a chaotic, turmoilish state. Okay, because you've gotten too far away from your ancient traditions and your ancient practices. Okay. Um, and as I expressed before, we are going to get a lot of negative energy because there are a lot of religions, there are a lot of beliefs that feel as if a woman should bow down to a man, or a woman should be behind, or she's beneath a man. But when we look at our ancient cultures and our ancient traditions and our ancient teachings, it teaches you that a woman and a man are pretty much equal. And if you really want to get technical, the woman, she has a different and a greater capability in many aspects, because she has the ability to carry life inside of her womb, inside of her body. She has the ability to be a vessel, to bring forth life. She is a representation of time traveling. Okay, when you look at a when you say you have a kid in the family, and the baby, he starts to form out, and the grandparents begin to say, "Oh, you look just like your uncle, or your grandfather, or your great granddaddy. He looked like my great granddaddy. He got." There are some traits that's a form of time traveling, because that's a part of that person that is still in existence, and the way that they're still in existence is they had to come, and they had to be reborn, or they had to come through the womb of the woman. They had to travel on their mothership. Okay. So when we talk about time traveling, when we talk about the mothership, we're talking about the Black woman and the beauties and the contributions that she has made to life and throughout life, the contributions that she has made. And when we talk about ancient Kemet, and we talk about Asar and Osiris, when we look at Aset and Asar, him dying, or him being killed by his brother, the jealous brother, that's going to be another live, the jealous brother, in a minute. But he was killed and murdered by his jealous brother, but through the woman, through the mother, through the wife, through the sister, through the aunt, through the daughter. Okay, through this woman, she did everything she could. Everything. She went from one end of the planet to the other, trying to figure out, trying to bring back her beloved, trying to figure out. She called on the ancients, she called on the great ones. She begged, she pleaded. Okay? She missed her beloved, and wanted her beloved so much and so bad that she reached into another dimension. She reached into another realm. Okay? She reached in, with this, it changed, and she had to address the universal laws and the universal order of things. And to bring her beloved back to life, she had to step outside the realm of mortals. Okay? She had to step into another dimension to bring back her beloved. Okay? And um, she used electromagnetic energy to bring him back to life, to shock him, and to bring him back into existence. And this is the same energy, electromagnetic energy, that is used in, the conception between the man and the woman. This is the same energy that's used during conception. Okay, when the sperm travels and it hits the egg, the moment that it penetrates that egg, there is a connection, there is a pool of energy, electromagnetic energy within internal. This is internal energy, this is universal energy, all connected, okay, in creating the essence of life. So, the woman, um, she is very sacred. She plays a very, very vital, a very, very pivotal role in the essence of all life. Okay, we have to understand these things. And as I stated before, it doesn't take anything away from the man. He is just as important. Okay, he is the muscle, he is the provider, he is the protector, he is the essence of strength, he is the essence of masculinity. Okay, so he has great things about him as well. They both have beautiful skills, they both have great contributions that they make to life itself. And when the black man and the black woman can understand and comprehend that they both play a pivotal role in life itself, they both play a pivotal role in the future. Okay, the present, the past, present, and in the future. Okay. um, and just because it, we talk about the woman representing the goddess or the essence of God, it doesn't emasculate or take anything away from the man. He is just as important because that's her beloved. Okay. That's when she looks into his eyes, she sees a reflection of herself in a masculine aspect. When he looks into her eyes, he's supposed to see a reflection of himself in a feminine aspect. And together, those, it's no different than the yin and the yang, the Ka and the Ba, together, this double vital soul force, it has the ability to move mountains. It has the ability to create the vibrations of consciousness. It has the ability to create complete balance. It has the ability to create utter chaos. Okay? So we have to understand that everything has a purpose. We have to begin to see the beauty in both the male and the female, and not, one doesn't take anything from the other. They both play a pivotal role in life. And that's just the bottom line. And the constant bickering about whether the black man is, whether the black woman, whether it's hindering the progress of the entire community because you get stuck there. You get stuck there. One is trying to, I guess it's a sense of insecurity, a sense of self confidence. I'm not really sure. I guess it's dealing with self esteem. But you got one battling, the other one battling. When if you both have a high level of self confidence, it's going to be a beautiful thing, and you can get beyond that weak argument and focus on a solution which will be more beneficial to the Black community and to the communities. Um, and as I stated, the mothership, it represents, the foundation. Okay. It represents the foundation. And one of the reasons that it represents the foundation is because at the base of all human life, every human being that's on this planet, he came out of he came out of a time traveling machine. He came out of he got off, or she got off the mothership, you know? So, you can't get beyond the fact that you have a belly button. You can't get beyond the fact that you were connected to a placenta. And to try to debate that, anybody that's trying to debate thing, when you see people that's trying to debate that, that's a person that's just looking for attention. That's a person that really honestly is hindering the progress of the people. Okay? When you stuck on the same ridiculous debate over and over and over again for 20 years. That's a person, their purpose is to hinder the progress. They're not there to further the progress of the people. Because a person that's there to further the progress of people is not going to stay stuck on one subject matter and allow it to hinder the progress. Okay? We have to begin to try to find common ground and, in order for us to move forward and to find solutions to some of the things and some of the problems that we're facing in our communities. Um, we have to understand that both roles, male and female, are just as important. And the only way that the community is going to rise and empower itself and elevate is for both roles, both of these pivotal roles, and both of these pivotal people to, exercise their abilities and to help uplift the community. That's the only way that you're going to be able to get to the next level with both. You can't just say, well, all the men have to do. There are going to be things that men have to do, but women, they have to do their role as well. Okay, everybody plays an important role, and we have to stop degrading each other and trying to make one person feel less than the other. Okay, we have to try to um, express how important both roles are. Everybody wants to be. And one thing we have to look back at in our culture, when you look at the villages of Africa and, manhood training, there was one point in time that, the chief, there were many chiefs of a village. Okay. And one of the reasons why is because after a certain age, you want to feel a sense of importance. It gives one the opportunity to feel a sense of importance. Okay, it excuse me, it gives one the opportunity to feel a sense of significance. So that's why it was more than one chief in the village, and that's why it takes more than it takes a village to raise a child. Okay, everybody plays a significant role. When we talk about it takes more than a village to raise a child, everybody is going to play a distinct and a significant role in the raising and the uplifting of that child. Okay, these are ancient teachings. When we talk about, it takes a village to raise a child, that's talking about the golden child. Okay, and everybody wants to be a part of, putting their shoulder on the golden child. Now, you don't go that way. Well, come on back on over here, baby. You come back this way. Well, come on over here and sit with me up under this tree. Let me talk with you. Everybody wants to be a part of something greater than themselves. So we have to understand that. We have to, when we see each other, we have to be more understanding and more compassionate. That is one of the things I um, think that, we need to try to focus on the lack of compassion amongst ourselves. And the thing about this is it wasn't always this way. It began to, become this way during the drug pandemic. When the drugs hit the Black community, it totally changed how we act, behave, and how we treated each other. Okay. We used to give, you used to could go to your neighbor and get a cup of sugar. Now you can't go to your neighbor and get a cup of sugar. But before the drug epidemic, you could go to your neighbor and get a cup of sugar. But after crack hit, you couldn't go to your neighbor because you go to your neighbor and they might open up the door and you might get a cup of sugar. You might get more than a cup of sugar. You might get a bullet. Okay. A bullet didn't have a name on it. Okay. That's what I was told. A bullet did not have a name on it. It didn't have no name on it. So um, it's just a lot of things have changed um, in our modern day society. And one of the reasons that I think that things have changed is because we have gotten too far away from ancient traditions. We have gotten too far from our ancient practices. We have gotten too far away from our culture and our practices and our traditions. And we're going to have to, when we look at farming, we're talking about people who are fussing and carrying on about, oh, their food stores is empty. There's no food in the stores and the shelves are empty. Well, one point in time, we used to farm and you ate out of your own yard. But we got to the point where we got sick and tired of farming and producing our own vegetables and producing our own crops, that we said, you know what, I want to go in here and I'm going to go down here to Sears and, Walmart and all of these other places. And you became more dependent upon society. You were no longer dependent and you weren't independent. You were no longer dependent upon yourselves. Okay. You began to depend on everyone else for your basic necessities and your needs. And that's where you have hurt yourself. And you're going to have to get back to some of your ancient traditions, some of the ancient culture, some of your ancient teachings, because it's going to be beneficial to you and it's going to be beneficial to the younger generation and to the future generations. If you talk about the future generation, the average person that is 18 years of age in today's society has absolutely no clue in regards to farming. Okay, how to produce their own vegetables, how to produce their own crops, and how to produce their own food. They are absolutely clueless. If McDonald's didn't make it, if Walmart doesn't have it, they don't know what to do. And you're in trouble when you have society that is totally dependent upon everything and everyone else for their ultimate survival. Okay, so um, just these are the things that we have to focus on. And, this is one of the things that mothers do. They nurture, they teach, they cultivate. They cultivate, stimulate the mind. And we need to begin to focus more on farming, producing our own vegetables. We need to begin to focus more on agriculture. We need to focus more on our independence and sustaining um, and maintaining our survival. We need to focus more on Black generational wealth. We need to focus more on purchasing and acquiring it and accumulating and obtaining more land. The more land you have, you can feed your people, you can feed yourself. So we need to begin to focus on these. We have a lot of people in the Black community, we have a lot of rappers, we have a lot of people in the entertainment industry who are millionaires, you know, billionaires. We have billionaires. We need to encourage them to begin to invest in purchasing land so that they can feed themselves and feed their families and feed their people. Encourage them to uh, purchase, and start their own businesses. Encourage them to pass from one generation down to another, some generational wealth. As we talked about Jay-Z when he talked about him purchasing art from an art gallery that was worth millions of dollars. And by the time, his sons, and he gives it to his sons, or his children, it's going to be worth billions and probably trillions of dollars. It's going to quadruple by the time they become adults. And that's the type of stuff that we want to encourage. This is the type of mindset that we want, Black men to have and to pass down to their children. We have to get back to that type of mindset. Black men encouraging their boys and their sons and their daughters to, obtain and, acquire generational wealth and to, pass it down from one generation to another. That is how you obtain economic growth and economic empowerment. Okay. So with that being said, um, we had a great session today, well, tonight. And again, we have to begin to focus more on the fact that when we talk about the Black woman being God, it doesn't take away from the Black man. It doesn't make him less. It doesn't make him any weaker. It doesn't make him less of a man. It's not supposed to be a sense of emasculation. And if saying that the Black woman is God makes a man feel inferior, then that's a problem that he's having within himself, and maybe he may need to get therapy. Okay. Um, that shouldn't make you feel less than a man. It should make you feel, in fact, empowered, because you know that if something was to happen to you, your woman is going to be able to hold it down. You know that if something happens to you, the children will be just fine because she's going to be able to maintain and sustain. And that is what you supposed to want. Okay. So, Hotep, peace, and shalom. Till the next time, Hotep.